welcome to the show and happy Australia Day. This is your news today, streaming on 9 Now and YouTube. Here are the stories making headlines this Monday. A Nationals leader, David Littleproud, ramps up calls for a new Liberal leader. Plus, tensions flare after a second US citizen is shot dead by federal agents. And back-scratching bovine? Why this is Austrian cow is shocking scientists.
We begin this morning, though, with a bushfire alert across Victoria as the state braces for the worst conditions in nearly 20 years. Let's go live to Selena Zhang in Melbourne. Selena, good morning to you. Which areas are being impacted as we go to air?
Sarah, it's really right across the state. Smoke from the bushfires has even been pushed all the way across here to Melbourne, nearly 200 kilometres away from that bushfire that's still burning in the Otways in the state's southwest. And there are still concerns, real concerns for those fires still burning up in the state's north as well, with fears those could once again burn out of control with another week, with a week of 40+ degree heat expected for those areas. Some towns expected to reach 48 to 49 degrees. And these are conditions, Sarah, we haven't seen since the 2009 Black Summer bushfires.
Selena, thank you.
South Australians are waking up to sweltering conditions with temperatures reaching the high 40s in some parts of the state. Let's go live to Will DeFulvio in Adelaide. Will, good morning to you. This could be the hottest Australia Day yet.
Yeah, good morning, Carl. We're tipped to hit 45 degrees, but there's a 7-year record sitting at 46.6 that this Australia Day just might beat. So the health authorities, they're really urging South Australians, even though that we've been persisting through this for the last 3 days, to be careful, be sun smart and stay hydrated, especially inland and in the regions that are also sweltering as well. It has caused some Australia Day events to be cancelled. Some are going to push ahead, but organisers have conceded, Carl, that if it gets a little bit too dangerous, they're going to have to call it as well.
48 degrees in Port Augusta. Oof. Says.
Yeah, stinker, isn't it? Well, Australia Day is underway across the nation with a mix of celebrations and protests planned for the public holiday. Let's go live to Jack Hahn in Sydney with all the details. Jack, a jam-packed day of events is planned.
Indeed, countless celebrations, also a flyover in the harbour and a ferry race. There'll also be some Invasion Day protests as well here in Sydney and some counter marches. Plenty of people will be making the most of this public holiday, from Barbies to beaches. A little look out here. You can see it's a little washy this morning off the coast of Sydney. In fact, there is a severe weather warning in effect for large and powerful surf, so do take care if you're heading out in the water today. Sarah.
Jack, thank you. Australia's first ever astronaut, Catherine Benelpeg, has been named this year's Australian of the Year. The 41-year-old South Aussie was the first international candidate to graduate from the European Astronaut Centre in Germany. She had this to say about receiving the top honour.
Thank you so much for this incredible honour. I'm meant to be someone that's calm in extreme circumstances, but this is testing every skill that I have because of the deep, deep honour that it is. I hope that we'll all look up, knowing that there is no aspiration too big for any Australian.
Well deserved. She could also become the first person to enter space as part of an Australian mission. Well, Nationals leader David Littleproud is daring the Liberal Party to reinstate the coalition, but only if they choose a new leader. Andrew Hastie is in pole position following the bitter fallout from last week's split as calls to oust Susan Lee gather steam. Hastie's family has given their support for him to run for the leadership.
The US government is clashing with authorities in the US state of Minnesota after a second fatal shooting there by Border Patrol agents. Let's go to Reed Butler now in downtown LA, where a protest is planned today. Reed, what's the Trump administration saying this morning?
Carl, the administration is maintaining that Alex Preddy, the ICU nurse who was shot and killed by ICE agents, brought the tragedy on himself by intervening and trying to help a woman who was being pepper sprayed. You can see, though, anger, it is growing across the United States, Minneapolis, Los Angeles, and even at the Sundance Film Festival.
I'm very inspired, though, by all of the amazing, amazing Americans who are coming out and supporting each other and being there in community. It's beautiful.
We're expecting big crowds here outside the ICE offices in Los Angeles for a protest later today, Carl.
Reed, thank you.
Iranian authorities have unveiled a mural in the capital, Tehran, with a warning to the United States. Depicting damaged planes and American flags, it reads, "If you sow the wind, you will reap the whirlwind." President Donald Trump has confirmed US military assets continue to stay poised in the region just in case, after nationwide protests were met with deadly force by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. A monster winter storm is right now pounding a wide stretch of the United States, with warnings in effect from as far south as Texas, right up through to New York and Maine on the border with Canada. Temperatures have plummeted, bringing a wild, wintry mix of heavy snow and freezing rain, while 750,000 households are currently without power. A clever cow in Austria that can scratch its own back has left scientists scratching their heads. They're challenging the assumption the species can't use tools. Veronica, the brown Swiss, has developed quite the knack with the broom, using it to get all of those hard-to-reach places. When word got around to a team of biologists in Vienna, they raced to meet her, saying it is the first time a cow has been documented using a tool.
That would be very handy indeed. Well, Victoria Beckham has broken cover for the first time since her son Brooklyn's public outburst at his parents. Let's go live to Josh Bavis in London for more. Josh, there's been a reunion of sorts, but not necessarily with the family.
Days after Brooklyn, Beckham said some very hurtful things about his parents, announcing that he was cutting ties with them. His mum, Victoria Beckham, has been seen out celebrating the birthday of fellow Spice Girl Emma Bunton. It was her 50th birthday, so Victoria Beckham posted to her 34 million followers, and she didn't say anything about the family spat. Simply, happy birthday to the most beautiful soul. I love you girls so much. Now, one of the other Spice Girls that didn't make it there was Mel B. But perhaps the missed headline here is that Baby Spice is now 50. Sarah?
Yes, a good
Don't rub
reminder.
it in, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, look, no one does a better post-match interview than our very own Jim Courier, right?
It's true.
He is a legend. But Jim thought he might have got himself or Alex into trouble the other night over a little discussion about the Demons' upcoming wedding to British tennis star Katie Bolter. Jim tried his best to rectify it all last night. Check it.
I hope I didn't get you in trouble. Was everything okay back there? Was it like I feel like I overstepped my bounds?
In trouble?
Yeah.
No, it's all chilled. I mean, we've got a great relationship.
Okay.
No. She trusts me and trusts my judgment, right? At least that's what I believe.
The Demon heeding Jim's advice, who had earlier told him that sometimes in marriage it feels like you're only 49% of the partnership.
49.
Good advice to listen to.
I take 49 every day of the week.
It's actually generous, isn't it?
Yeah, sure is. Let's take a look at the weather across the country. Plenty happening on this Australia Day. A stinker on the way as sweltering temperatures are going to set in. Adelaide tipped to hit a blistering 45 degrees.
That is a hot one. With the extreme heat, we will also see fire danger ratings elevated. But the good news is a cool change is brewing and will move across the continent from the west from tomorrow.